So what do you think about archery season last year? Did you enjoy yourself or not really? I don't really know what I'm looking at. All right, so the Big Woods Whitetail crew is headed to the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We actually live only about an hour away, so this is our local show, so we're pretty excited to meet up with the vendors. So we're going to interview the outfitters, ordinary attendees, and the guest speakers. We have some hot button topics that we want to address with them and see what they say.
I wonder what people are going to say about using thermal drones for deer recovery, and also regulation that drives them crazy. I've been filming Myron doing interviews on the way up here. We had 3 near-death experiences and missed our route 4 times. Eric's waiting at the coffee shop.
None of this is true.
It's freezing right now.
So we just got to the Great American Outdoor Show. We're going to be doing a bunch of interviews with outfitters and just regular stand holders and different speakers. So really looking forward to it. Come along. All right, so we're going to head over this direction where a majority of the outfitters are located. We're just going to work our way up and down the aisleway, just talking to everybody that is interested in specifically whitetail deer hunting. How you guys doing? Myron is my name.
Drew Ross.
Drew?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You guys are obviously from Texas. What else do we want to know?
Premier Ranch, Ross Trophy Outfitters. We've got an operation in Kansas, Mississippi, and Texas, and we offer big whitetail, and we've got an exotic ranch as well in Texas. So we offer hunts in all 3 places. Yep.
Do you hunt personally yourself?
I do.
If you could only hunt in 5 states the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Obviously Kansas and Texas, and it depends on what we're doing as far as what animal we're hunting.
Yeah, Pike County, Illinois, Whitetail Outfitters. We have about 3,000 acres, 26 farms. We run youth specials for parents with the kids under 17 years old. They come hunt for free with us. We also do a military discount for military veterans and first responders. The 2nd year in operation. Last year we had 7 out of 12 guys shoot deer, 100% opportunity, and we can do all sorts of hunts. Bow, crossbow, gun, muzzle loader, full accommodations.
That's great. So 2nd year, and what's the number one thing you learned since the 1st year?
I love outfitting more than I love deer hunting.
Yep. Doesn't feel like work.
No, I love it a lot more.
Yep.
Just go out there, try to get everybody, because everybody that's successful, I'm successful.
Yep.
So the more people I get out there and put on deer, it's like me shooting a deer myself.
Yep.
Tell us about yourself. You're from Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
Why should I come to Kentucky and hunt whitetail?
Well, not to downplay on Pennsylvania, but I've hunted here.
I'm from Pennsylvania. You can downplay it. It's totally fine.
We've had guys hunt with us, and they say maybe they've hunted for 40 years and killed 1 buck or something. And I always thought that was impossible, growing up where we did.
Yep.
And then I've hunted up here 2 or 3 times, and I can see how
it made sense. Have you hunted the Big Woods when you were here? What type of terrain did you hunt when you were in Pennsylvania?
Mountain ground.
Yep.
And if you did see some deer, you may see a bunch, but then you'll always sit there 3 more days and not see a deer.
I'm from South Dakota. My business partner's from Wyoming, but we own Timber Country Outfitters in Saskatchewan. Our lodge is located 2 hours north of Saskatoon. Fantastic whitetail deer hunting, black bear hunting right on the forest fringe of Saskatchewan. So we're located right on the line where the provincial forest meets the farm country, and it's really the perfect storm for giant whitetails because you got all the nutrition of the farmland and all the shelter of the forest.
Yep. So that perfect combination of ag, and you have a lot of big woods in that area as well?
Yeah, we've got a lot of big woods that just borders that farmland country. So they're getting that nutrition year round in the farm ground, and they can go to the farm ground to survive the hard winters, but they shelter in the forest to get away from predators.
Yep.
Really a perfect situation for big deer.
Well, we are King Whitetails. We're based out of northeast Kansas. We hunt units 4, 7, and 8 for deer, and units 2 and 3 for turkey. So we offer whitetail hunts, we offer eastern and Rio turkey hunts, and we also offer predator hunts.
Okay.
Why you should come to Kansas? It is an amazing state for not only the number, but also the quality of animals. For our outfit, we hunt deer that are a 140 minimum. and just the abundance of quality whitetail, the abundance of turkeys and the predators that we have, we just think it's a fantastic opportunity for sportsmen to come out and be successful.
Is hunting better than it used to be, or would you say it's worse?
I think for trophy deer, it's better because people are working harder to manage correctly and work. The biggest thing is having neighbors work together to be able to, harvest trophy deer.
Sure, yeah.
Or what everybody would consider a trophy.
Yeah, if the neighbor's killing the 100 inch
Yeah,
and you guys
yeah.
are shooting 200,
Right.
you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are Guide Fitter. We run pro programs for outdoor companies. So we're mostly well known for our Guide and Outfitter pro programs. So we are here in the Guide and Outfitter Hall to help support the outfitters that are on our platform. So if you're a guide or an outfitter, you can come to us. We verify your credentials, make sure you're up to date and you are who you say you are. And the brand partners that we have will give you a discount on your product for the work that you do. Now that also goes further past that. We do military programs, law enforcement programs, outdoor government. We have a whole plethora of stuff, but that is what we're most well known for.
Tell me about yourselves a little bit. You guys obviously sell properties, real estate.
Yes.
Where's your primary location?
So we're located in DuBois, PA,
yeah.
about 2.5 hours west of here, right off Interstate 80. We do a lot of land and rural property sales, and we also have a land management company paired with it. So we do whitetail consulting, habitat improvements, timber management, all sorts of different things to just improve the value of people's property.
Obviously, you're from Alberta, Canada. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, North Central Alberta, Canada. Hunting whitetails, black bears, and wolves in Alberta. I run an outfit in BC too.
So Craig here sold us a property, our cabin property up in the mountains. Yep. So how's it been? How was your last season? Or 2025?
2025 was a good year for whitetail property agents all across our state. We did record numbers this year. So we're getting our foot in, and we're doing good.
Are you still mostly in Pennsylvania, or are you in other states?
All across the states, I believe 45 different states we're in now. We have over 400 agents.
We are from South Central Florida in Sebring, Florida, so like 2 hours south of Orlando.
Nice.
So we own a hunting preserve down there. We do gators, whitetails, exotics, and then Osceola turkeys and hogs down there as well.
Nice. So how many acres do you lease, or do you hunt
So we
private?
own, yeah, it's all private. We own 1,000 acres, and then 360 of that is high fence. The rest of it's free range. And then for turkey season, we lease a bunch of property for turkey season.
So you personally, what do you prefer? Turkey hunting, whitetail hunting? What's your thing?
I like the turkey hunt. It's fun. It's stressful, especially since we guide. We shoot about 30 turkeys in a month, so it's pretty stressful, but it's fun. I like to do it. It's a good.
Tell us about how you started with hunting.
Generation before my dad, they grew up hunting for something to eat.
Gotcha.
And the first deer season in Kentucky wasn't until the early 80s, I think it was. And everybody just started hunting, and that's what everybody around us does. I remember being young telling my dad that I was going to be an outfitter, and our people didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, and didn't know anybody had been on an outfitted hunt. So.
My parents. My dad, been doing it for 48 years.
Yep.
I've been doing it since I was a kid. 34 now.
So my dad's been doing it for 30 years. He's had operation in Kansas for going on 30 years now. And he actually started in Mississippi probably 40 years ago. So I was raised in it.
Yeah.
That's all we've ever done.
Oh, I shot my first deer when I was 12, and I'm 49 now.
Nice. What was the biggest deer you ever shot?
Right there, the big 10-pointer up on top.
I kind of got into it accidentally. I started taking a few hunters, and it just kind of cascaded, snowballed.
Slowly built.
And turned into what it is today. And now we outfit not just in Saskatchewan, Canada, but we've got camps across the U.S. and 2 camps in Mexico.
I had some cousins that worked for an outfitter, and I never worked for him. I was always busy farming. And I got a chance to lease one farm, and I started with that, and we killed our biggest deer we ever killed off of that one, which is 207 inches.
My family, were hunters. It was my dad, who I will credit or fault for getting me hooked on hunting. But as a little kid, I would go to hunting camp, and I grew up in the East, and we did a lot of deer drives, so I would have a stick hitting trees on the way through the woods, learning the woods, and it's something that I've tried to pass on to my sons. And as I have gotten older, I've gotten to the point now where I enjoy helping other hunters be successful just as much as hunting myself.
The guy who got me into it was a guy who owns the place now, and got me in as part owner, and just took off from there.
What's a common mistake that you see new hunters making when they come out to you to have you guys guide for them?
So when they come out, they're usually from the East Coast here, and they try to, the first buck they see or any big buck they see, they usually shoot, and it's not what they're really looking for. our minimum's 140 inches, 150 inches, and they're coming out and they're shooting the big ones for back here, but out there they're way bigger, and you just gotta wait for them.
Yeah. Lots of guys don't realize how much bigger the deer bodies are in Canada compared to the ones down here. Like 140, 150 inch deer down here is like the size of my dog at home.
Yeah. 100% overpacking.
Overpacking?
Everybody thinks they've got to bring the whole house. You know, depending on what you're doing. I mean, you know, if you're going on a public land elk hunt, you're going to need the whole house. But you know, if you're going with an outfitter, for the most part, you're going to be taken care of. You got your binoculars, your gun, you know, your boots and your gear as far as clothing. You're going to make it fine with an outfitter.
What's the number one mistake you're seeing guys making when they're starting to look for a property to buy?
Not having their financing in order. They go out and they're not quite sure what they can afford, and then they get sticker shock.
So where's a good resource for them to learn about what they should be looking for? YouTube, or is it, where would you recommend they go?
Call Whitetail Property Agent. We can get you started in the right direction.
So sometimes that hand-holding comes with it to where you got to walk with them through the whole process.
That's what we're here for. We're here to help you.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's just there's so many different options that I think a lot of time they're just overwhelmed. So it's trying to kind of narrow in what they're looking for and just, you know, find something that fits them.
What would you say to a new hunter? Like, what advice would you give to a new hunter? Like,
that everything always works out in the end, and there's a plan for every hunt.
so for like a new hunter that's just starting to hunt and they want to come be guided with you guys, what would be a piece of advice that you give a new hunter?
Piece of advice, do your homework.
With kids, find a way to make it interesting. When my boys were young, I wasn't afraid to pack a little bit of candy and some snacks and take them out into a ground blind. Just find a way to make it interesting and exciting for them and to appreciate the outdoors. Pay attention to the birds, pay attention to the squirrels, and it wasn't about killing as much as it was seeing and just enjoying it and appreciating nature.
I would just say go out and start. You just got to give it a start. I mean, everybody has excuses as to why they don't start. You don't need the nicest thing, or the nicest rifle, nicest bow. Just find something you're efficient with and just get out there and start somewhere. YouTube's a great place to learn. My dad didn't hunt a whole lot, so I learned a lot from YouTube. You know, find good guys that you can tell are genuine and learn from there. Yeah.
Find a great mentor to spend time with you and let them pass on what they know.
What's one hunting regulation that drives you crazy?
Oh, boy. Just about all of them, I would say, without a doubt. I would say the number one would be the weapon in which you can use.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to go out there whatever you want to hunt with. You're efficient with it, you can kill with it. You should be allowed to use it.
Late rifle season this year was a little interesting. It's just you got bucks that are starting to shed antlers, and it's easy to mistake a shed buck for a doe in a quick situation.
Well, there's a regulation right now. We can shoot wolves. All of our hunters get a wolf tag, but the opportunities for wolves are limited because we're not allowed to bait specifically for wolves. You can just shoot them if they happen to come by when you're deer hunting, and I would really love to see them allow us to curate baits for wolves.
Is there any like specific hunting regulation that you don't like that you wish would change?
Not really, no. I was better than a lot of states right now with their regulations, but
It's tough, at least in Montana. Sometimes there's a lot of frustration with like out-of-state allocation, tags for mule deer, elk, and I know that they're really addressing that this year. Personally, I like to see a little bit more interaction. Montana's always been an opportunity state, so more better in my mind to come enjoy the wilderness and hunt. So cutting tags like that, at least the amount that we did, is a little frustrating, a little silly.
Do you support thermal drone recovery for deer?
Yes, I do. I think it's a great thing to do.
The cameras are absolute necessity where we hunt because we've got 40 baits spread out across 80,000 acres, and to know what's there, what deer we want to hunt, you have to have cameras, you have to have data.
For deer recovery, oh yeah, 100%. I don't see why that is illegal or shouldn't be used. I mean,
You don't feel like people will start using it to, to find deer?
Yeah, it's good and bad, right? I think for recovery, you should be allowed to use it. You shouldn't be allowed to use it to find deer, to hunt deer. You should still be able to hunt deer the traditional way.
Yes, there's no sense in a deer laying in the woods rotting just because you don't have any blood and you can't track him. The drone don't lie, and in about 5 minutes you can determine whether the deer's laying there dead or you've hit him and he's 500 yards away bedded, and then you can determine from the drone then whether it's fatal or he's going to
And you can do all that without bumping out of his bed, which is huge.
Yeah, the stomping through the woods really messes stuff up, and it saves a lot of time too.
They're a very useful tool depending on how you use them. What we try to tell our hunters is we don't depend on them as our primary scouting method. That we can only have a camera covering a certain amount of ground. That a lot of the bucks that we actually will harvest are bucks that we may not have on camera consistently, but they're coming in to check scent, they're coming in to check hot does, but they certainly are a useful tool when you can't cover a lot of ground all the time. They help us with our scouting.
So trail cameras in general, they're obviously become a really big thing. Do you guys feel like overall that's helped people become better woodsmen, or does it kind of misguide them a little bit and going to a spot where maybe they shouldn't go? They should be focusing on being a woodsman, figure out what the deer are traveling. Who wants to answer that?
I don't use
a little bit of a loaded
trail cameras. I don't have like info in that world. I've never had the opportunity to really go put something up. I think it's the same thing as anything. I think there's always positive and negatives to it. I think you can overuse something, but I also think you can use it to your advantage if you do it right.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like, where do you draw the line on use and the advance in technology to hunt? And trail cameras, to me, there's huge benefits as far as like areas where you're targeting a specific animal or you're trying to track movements in game and things like that. I think they're fine. I don't have a problem with them personally. I don't use them. We don't typically use them in Montana very often. But yeah, it's kind of a weird one. It kind of lends into that technology question. I was like, where's the line and where do we need to stop, right? Yeah.
Support it 100%. Recovery, 100%. I don't have a problem with it at all. We personally don't use it. In Kansas, you can't use a drone, period. In Texas, we just haven't implemented it yet. There's a lot of guys around that offer it, so we hire it done if we need it. And we still use a dog a lot. But the thermal drones, that's going to take the place of a lot, you know. And I think it's a great tool.
You don't think a lot of hunters are going to abuse that?
I think no matter what you do, hunters are going to abuse it. There's a guy out there that's going to figure out a way. I don't feel like you need to penalize the guy that's trying to do right. It doesn't bother me at all.
So what would be your favorite 2025 season story that you have?
Yeah, my favorite is we shot a double. We were reaping 2 turkeys in, so you crawl out with a strutter. We had a husband and wife with us, and we got them both in. They ended up shooting both of the birds. The wife shot her first one with a 410. The husband jumped around and shot his second one. And
back to back.
Back to back. Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
So cool.
Yeah.
Killed a pasture deer that was 185 this year, natural born deer in our pasture. We watched him for 3 years, held everybody off of him for a couple, so it was just nice to see the fruit of your labor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
One of our hunters killing the biggest deer of the season this year is a 182-inch whitetail, and that was a deer that gave us the slip every week of the season the year before, and this year we got that deer the first time we hunted it, so that was really rewarding.
2025 season, I would say when I took my grandfather out for his 80th birthday, and he went out there and he wasn't able to connect with one, but he saw more deer than he ever seen.
Waking up to 4 inches of water in my tent during a stone sheep hunt, that was, I'll never forget that.
Tell us more about that.
We got rained out for 8 days straight. And then seams in my tent started leaking, and I woke up, my mattress was floating in 4 inches of water.
What is the highlight from the 2025 season?
Our opening night, which was in September, we killed 2 deer over 150. That's always good to start with. And that weekend we killed 3 deer over 150. So.
Dang, we need to move to Kentucky.
We had a guy shoot a 180, and he was just happier than could be.
No kidding.
But I think a highlight for me was we had a dairy farmer from here in PA who came out to hunt with us, and he shot a really unique buck. It had an extra tine growing out underneath the main beam, and it ended up scoring in the 160s. And this guy was the nicest man, just super humble. But to see how happy he was when he got hands on that buck, it was, that's why we do it.
So we're just wrapping up here at the Great American Outdoor Show. We had an awesome time. We talked to a ton of speakers, like a whole bunch of attendees and outfitters. So we're heading home to take a rest and meet up with our wives. Big Woods Whitetail out.